In SmartView R&D, our temperature scale displays on the right side of the screen. It shows our low temperature, 60 degrees Fahrenheit, and our high temperature, 87 degrees Fahrenheit. And then a color palette is applied and the different temperature values display a different color, allowing us to see the image. The temperatures towards the bottom of the scale display darker, and the temperatures towards the top of the scale display lighter. We can change palettes, as there's a handful of different palettes to select from. We're currently in iron palette. This is an example of what rainbow looks like, grayscale, and some of the different palettes. Changing between the palettes is up to personal choice, but the purpose of the temperature scale and the different color palettes, along with some of the enhancement tools, is to help you see the data that you want to see and filter out the data that is not as important. By default, image enhancement is off, but you can apply different types of image enhancements to try to get a better image and see your radiometric data. So here's histogram equalization, and we can see we get a little bit more detail out of the picture. And then we also have some plateau equalization that we have some variance in that we can move around to try to make our picture better. So what we're looking at here is this is a short recording of a very large drill press. So this is a very large drill. There's a drill back here with a drill bit, and we're drilling through this piece of metal right here. What we're attempting to do is measure the temperature of the drill bit as it comes through these drill holes. So there's a lot of information in here that we don't care about, and we're not getting a lot of a good image or good contrast because everything is relatively close to the same temperature range. We don't have a large temperature variance. Changing palettes didn't really improve this particular image. So there's some other things that we can do. If we come down here to the bottom, there's the range. And again, that's the 60 degrees to 87 degrees that we're seeing here. There's the preset range, and this is going to take the range that was on the camera and just take those values. So if I click that, we'll see a minor change in the range, but not significant. Auto range, which is just finding the highest and lowest temperature and applying the color palette across that. Or we can go to a custom range. What the custom range shows us is it shows us what our upper limit is and our lower limit, and it allows us to move it. It also has a histogram of where the majority of the temperature data points are. So if I go ahead and I isolate out some of the lower temperatures, we see that the picture comes into a little bit more contrast, allowing me to see a little bit better of the areas of interest that I care about, and that's going to be this next drill hole that we're going to make. So now if I go ahead and run this short clip, we're going to see it drill the hole, and we're going to be able to see that drill bit as it comes through. And we see clearly where that drill bit is coming through. Again, the purpose of this was to measure the temperature of that drill bit coming through the metal. So now that I see where it clearly came through, I'm going to go ahead and put a quick marker there. Right at that particular frame, it's 174 degrees. And then I can create a point trend, and it's going to give me the profile. So now I've been able to use these tools to accomplish what I'm trying to do, which is figure out the temperature of this drill bit as it comes through the metal. And now with the marker placed, we see exactly the different temperature points that it hit and when it hit it. The operator of this tool ran this drill bit at several different speeds as we drilled this hole, and we were able to see the different temperatures and correlate them to the machine's performance. Another tool that we have at our disposal is isotherms that help us isolate the data that we want to see. So let me go ahead and open up an image here. Isotherms allow us to have a temperature range of interest displayed a very different color than the rest of the image. So if you notice on our scale, we have a small triangle here. This is actually, you can drag this down with your mouse, and everything above the temperature where I set this at is going to appear in black and white. Same thing if I come to the bottom side, I can do that. And so that allows you to still see the image in black and white of the area you're not interested in, but allows you to isolate the area with the regular color palette that you are interested in. It's also possible to set exact isotherms by right-clicking on the scale area, selecting isotherms, and you'll have some options to set some exact values. Again, the purpose of isotherms, scale, and palettes enhanced images and contrast is to allow the thermographer to see the detailed temperature data and isolate out temperature data that is not of interest.